Welcome back to the Jamison Files. I'm your host, Carrie Weber, and I am so excited. We're here in the Oklahoma City offices for Jamison, and I have my good friend, an amazing dental expert in the dental world, Laura Nelson, is here with me.
I'm so excited to be here on the home front. This is awesome.
So when my good friends come, I get a little stupid, so hope you guys can tolerate me for 30 minutes. I'm just so excited. You may know Laura from Front Office Rocks, which is a groundbreaking training and educational resource for dental business team members that has, how long has that been?
20 years.
20 years.
Yeah. I mean, it was in development in my head 20 years ago, probably live about 15 years.
Wow. Mm-hmm. So I think that speaks for itself, and when you think about who Laura is for the dental profession, and I would put you as a trailblazer without a doubt on the forefront, always looking for what's next, what's needed, especially with your heart for business team members and office managers, and really how to help those team members in a practice grow and thrive in their positions.
Yep.
So what we're going to talk about today is something that you have a new passion for, because it's something that really is continuing to grow and grow within the industry now, and that's AI. I know everybody's talking, it's the buzzword.
It's the buzzword of 2025.
It's the buzzword, and it's here. And I would say, you know, there's been some companies that have brought AI to the forefront in dentistry that have been around for several years now. But you know, I don't know how you feel. I'd love to hear your thoughts on it. But from my perspective, I feel like we're really now hitting the pace where we're going beyond the early adopters.
Right.
That got it from day one. Now we're getting into a more broad majority that's starting to perk up a little bit. With that comes a lot of questions in terms of what does this mean in dental practices? How do you use AI? How does it help us? What's the benefit? And really, there are places for AI throughout the team in a dental practice. So what does that look like? So I'm really curious, what has started this journey for you in terms of exploring how you can be a resource to help dental teams with AI, and what are you discovering?
For sure. So I kind of jumped into AI because I've been using it myself for a couple of years now. And I'm all about the teams, like you said. I you know, dentists are great, clinical team's great, all that. But the front office, it's like, how can we make sure, you know, we know the doctors go to a conference, they come back, and if the team doesn't embrace it, it's not going to happen, right? And so one of the things that I've seen is now that, I mean, AI, artificial intelligence has been around since the 50s. I mean, it's grown, but like if you go to your phone, you can search for pictures in your phone. We have MapQuest, we have, you know, MapQuest, we have it's been around. But in our industry, we are seeing it more and more, a lot because of the radiographs, the AI with radiographs, which is brand new to our industry. But then also as an environment, I guess, or whatever, is that we're at a spot with AI, they call it a light bulb moment. It's when the light bulb turns on. And what happened is with ChatGPT and OpenAI and LLMs and all of the buzzwords that they're talking about, they've been able to put AI in everyone's hands.
Yes.
At the way it is now. So this is where I kind of jumped in with teams, because I'm like, I'm seeing so much possibilities with AI. Radiographs are fine, but now I'm looking at the team members to help us be more efficient. But there's going to be some challenges, there's going to be some concerns. And that's where I'm always looking out for my teams. And I'm like, how can I bridge the gap between AI, I love it, and team members who are probably worried about, what about my job? How do I embrace it? Dentists are like, how do I get my team to use it? And that's really where I've taken an interest in learning as much as I can. And it's every day there's something new, right?
Yes.
And so that's really what I'm leaning towards in 2025 and in the future of like, how can I help teams embrace this in their everyday activity, and then the challenges that I see around it.
Yeah, we were talking recently about this, and I loved the aha moment you had recently at one of your courses you were giving, that there's an assumption, perhaps because AI is talked about so much in society right now. I mean, you can't like breathe across a social media platform without seeing some pieces about AI or whatever. But how surprised you were in the course of how few people really understood what it was, and it almost feels like technology's leaping so far ahead, and it's leaving a big chunk of our profession in terms of their understanding and competency with it behind.
Well, and that's one of the things I feel like, and I've done this through my whole career, I feel like I bridge the gap between like the dentist and the team, or between what we learn at a conference and how to apply it, you know?
Yes.
And that's the gap that we have these companies and people who are early adopters and bleeding edge in AI, who are up here talking about AI and how fast it's growing. But we have teams down here who literally, I just spoke at a conference and the lady's like, what does AI stand for, right? And she's an office manager. And so there's this gap. And so we need to bridge the gap and bring the team members. And I'll tell you there, I feel like there's going to be a lot of pushback for various reasons, which we can talk about. And I want to help the team members to see like, okay, how can we get over that?
Yeah.
How can we get over those challenges? And what does this look like on the other side? Because if you don't embrace it, in 3 to 5 years, you won't have a job.
I mean, yeah, let's talk about that.
Yeah.
Like, what do you think the pushbacks are or maybe that you're hearing the most right now?
Yeah. So first of all is AI. A lot of companies are advertising AI as being like this, oh, it's going to save the world. It's going to replace. I mean, I had a dentist the other day. I was like, please don't say that in public. He's like, we're going to replace your whole front office team. And I'm like, that is not what we want to put out there, right?
It's scary.
All right. So it's not at the spot yet where it can do all the things one day it will be able to do. So I'm working with a lot of companies now. Instead of like raising the ceiling, they're like, let's just raise the floor. So there are things that like Mango Notes, AI Notes, like I don't know how many times I've told team members, when you hang up the phone, put your notes in. And then we get busy and things happen and we don't. Now AI just puts our notes in for us. Oh my gosh, like that's amazing, right?
Yes.
So we need to realize that AI is not where it's gonna be, but it is definitely in development and doing things now. The second thing is what everyone's worried about is, am I gonna lose my job? AI is not here to replace people. AI is here to replace tasks. So yes, you need to learn how to embrace it, but it's not going to replace you unless you don't. So that's where I'm saying 3 to 5 years from now, if you're not using AI, and if I have a choice between two candidates and one person it's going to take an hour to do a task and somebody else is going to take 6 minutes to do a task, at some point I'm going to have to hire the person who can do it in 6 minutes, right? But then what I'm really concerned about, and nobody's really talking about yet, is in our industry, we have a culture that we have set up about always running behind, always having things to do. I always have something to do. I don't have time to go to the bathroom. And that feels like job security for us.
Yes.
So when we actually become efficient, what do we do?
Yes.
Right? And so that's really where bridging to the other side is like, okay, what do we do? And I've always been all about customer service and systems. We don't have enough time to give our patients the customer service they need, and we don't have enough time to do our systems, handoffs and meetings and stuff. Well, guess what? If you embrace AI and you become that efficient, we can actually do the things we're supposed to do and go to lunch and go to the bathroom and go home at 5 o'clock, right? And so as an industry, to be efficient, we don't know. And that's going to be a cultural change that we're going to have to embrace.
I love that you connect those dots a little bit, because boy, that is such a challenge in behavior, because a lot of people think just being busy is being productive.
Exactly.
And we see this all the time in how they schedule and how they just execute tasks throughout the day. We're going to avoid the hard things, which are typically human-based things, which are having a difficult conversation or leveling up our customer service and that patient experience, working and improving our verbal skills to increase treatment acceptance, whatever that is, because we're busy doing these little tasks, and which really is you being inefficient and prioritizing the wrong things.
Right.
And so that's going to be challenging for people to have to take a good long look at themselves and their behaviors.
But you just gave a really good example of another place where AI will be able to not just the tasks, but like how to have an appropriate meeting, how to have a hard conversation, how to organize a team building event. Like AI is like the creative sidekick you've always needed, or the one to like coach or help you get organized. So some of AI also is there's no more excuses at some point. Now, it's not all there all the way yet, but there's going to be where there's no more excuses where you can't do these things or get the resource you need or have the information at the tip of your fingers, but then you actually have to do it. Like you have to look in the mirror and say, okay, I'm the one now that's in the way of getting my practice or my position or my team where I want them to be.
And I would also say the place that the companies that are focused on AI, Pearl, Overjet, and so on, it started with the radiographs, really bringing that to the forefront and introducing that, and have built around that with some of the insurance management piece and some really great tools. I really do think we're hitting a stride here with this resource because we're past the scary black box.
Right.
What is this? Why would I pay for this? What does this do for me? And shocker, we talked before we did this. and so something that I think we both agree on is the tools themselves that are out there that are, you can invest in these softwares or whatever. They really aren't that challenging to learn if you're open to it, willing to take the time to be trained and shown, just like any other kind of software or technology that we happily buy on a whim at any dental meeting. You have to train your team, you have to learn how you incorporate that in your process and how to use it to the best of its ability. And most of what people need to learn is how to communicate around the tool.
Right.
Because case presentation, treatment education, using those radiographs and what AI can do to highlight needs or potential areas of concern. How do hygienists use this? How do the doctors use that in treatment presentation, and so on? Those pieces are really the next step. If you're bought in enough to invest in it, you then have to invest the time to train appropriately with the team on how to communicate with it to make it an actual useful tool.
And I just wrote a blog article about this because my husband and I went to 2 different dentists within a week of each other. And he's been listening to way too much dental for too many years and way too much AI out of for the last year from me. But he is in the loop on everything. He's in the loop in the companies. And so he goes to his dentist and they bring up, and they have Pearl in their office, and they bring up Pearl and he sees it and he's like, oh, you guys have AI. And the hygienist is like, let me show you. And then the dentist is going to verify, but here's things going on. And there was 2 things nobody even talked to him about. And they had a conversation and he came home and he's like, they're using AI and I've got to get this tooth taken care of. And I was like, this is amazing. I went to my dentist a week later and they happen to have Overjet, which is funny because we're talking about like 2 of the biggest. And the hygienist, I saw it come up. I screenshot it really. I had my phone. I was like took a picture really fast. She put it up and she slid it off at the 6 o'clock monitor. And she said, oh, I was just checking your x-rays with AI, and didn't say another word about it.
Oh, wow.
And I waited because I could have gotten into like really geeking out, but I was like, let me see if she uses it in case presentation. And I'm friends with the dentist. And so after we were done, I said, I see that you're using AI. She's like, yeah, we love it. She goes, if only though we could get our team members to talk to our patients about it. And I said, yeah, your hygienist showed it to me. I wouldn't have known. I mean, a normal patient wouldn't have known. And she slid it right off the screen. There's an example of the softwares, they can compete on how great they are and all that. But when it comes down to the patient, this one was a huge missed opportunity. And my husband came home thinking he was a dentist. You know what I mean? So, I mean, that's really, yeah, exactly. Yeah.
And I think that takes us back to some very foundational conversations about, again, communication skills within dental practices and dental teams, because AI can be a tremendous tool. If you have a practice that has a lot of broken appointments and no-shows in hygiene, I would bet you money that I could come and you could go and we could listen to the hygienists and how they communicate to patients through an entire appointment, and there would be missed opportunities to communicate what's happening in the appointment that makes it valuable and something you never want to miss. Like when you're doing an oral cancer screening. Do you tell them that you're doing that, or do you just do it and just assume that either they know or you don't even, you've been doing it for so long you don't even think anymore. All the steps of an appointment is an opportunity to educate and build value for why the patient needs to come to the next appointment.
I see all that with the phones. I mean, I started Front Office Rocks specifically because of the phones. Like when I started Front Office Rocks, there was one other coaching program out there for phones, and they taught scripts. And I was like, I'm not a fan of scripts. I'm a fan of training. And I've been training for 20 years on answering phones, and I know we missed the mark a lot on the phones. Well, now not only can we record the calls, but we have AI who can put our notes in, but also there'll be AI to be able to coach us on it, AI to help us with the calls, to be able to spotlight things. And honestly, I'm working with an AI company right now where I'm training the AI bot. So there will be a time when AI will answer our phones. And I think, I think sometimes better than some of our employees. Now, I'm not saying it should replace employees, but if I'm at the front desk and there's a patient in front of me and a phone's ringing and what do I do and how do I do this, because we all know that happens, if I can trust AI to handle that call as well as me so I can take care of the patient in front of me and the call gets handled, it's like having I call it like your little clone buddy, your super, like your mini me to do the things. So it's coming. Now, is it there? Absolutely not. But it's coming faster than any technology we've had.
Point to make in terms of when you start thinking about, yes, we get it for clinical, but do you get how powerful this could be for business team? Because how many times do we speak to groups of business team members that don't know where to focus their attention and presence in the middle of a really busy day? Do I answer the phone? Do I talk to the patient? Do I handle this insurance issue? Do I respond to this email? Do I submit this claim? Whatever it is.
The realities of working in the front desk.
The late Sally McKenzie called it the eight-armed octopus that is at the front office that's trying to make everything work. And what happens is we sacrifice a key opportunity for connection.
Exactly.
Because of busyness. So if this frightens you, take a step back, take a deep breath, and think about how powerful could I be in the things that matter most in a relationship-based business if I had the time to focus my energy and attention on what mattered the most.
Exactly.
And that's connection, conversations, communication, and presence with a patient. And whether that's having the time to answer the phone or to know I can talk to this patient for 3 more minutes and be fine, or taking that time to focus primarily on the patient that's standing right in front of you in the office. I think that could be a better way for all of us to pivot our mindset and to look forward to the future of what is coming. Change is always scary. I was joking earlier that I'm getting to an age where
30?
adapting.
30?
Yeah, as far as everybody knows. Adapting to technology becomes more and more effort. But just like anything, everybody's motivated by what's in it for them. So if you can start thinking about how this could benefit you, how this could benefit your teammates, how this could benefit the patients, the practice, it could be something that'd be really motivating to learn more about.
Right, and that's one of the things that I want. If you're not in AI or haven't been playing with it or whatever, this light bulb moment that we're in is the fact that everyone has access to AI now. You don't have to know how to code. You don't need the software. You don't need to. You're talking about learning softwares. It's really not. It's not about learning. It's not like when you switch practice management softwares and you got to start all over, which we all know what that's like, right? It's about, you can ask questions, you can conversate. The average person can use AI, should use AI. If you haven't, just get something like ChatGPT right now and start asking it questions, and you'd be shocked at how easy it is. And it's just going to get easier. That is the biggest thing that's coming out of this, is like you'll be able to, in whatever your role is, whatever you have a challenge, I say right now, start making a list of things that you're like, if I don't have to do this again, life would be good, right? And that's the kind of stuff that you're going to want to, insurances, there are a dime a dozen companies coming into our industry right now who say AI is going to solve the insurance game, at least for us, of having to spend all the time on the phones, which, amazing, that's a low-hanging fruit we need. If I don't have to call an insurance company again, right? So that's the kind of things where don't be afraid like it's this big, I got to learn AI. You don't. If you can ask a question, you can use AI.
And I would say, again, speaking to how that it's been introduced into dentistry long enough now that if you're curious, where is this in practices now? How does this work? What does this look like for me? There's content out there now. There are key opinion leaders, there are clinicians, there are people like Laura that are really stepping up to the plate and are testing the waters, so to speak, of how this is used. And I encourage you to find those webinars, find those courses, find that information, demo the companies that are really bringing it into dentistry, educate yourselves on what this looks like, and as you do that, those questions, like
Right.
you said, or the way that you can start to sort through what am I really looking for to help my
Right.
practice be more efficient,
Yeah.
and how I can be more effective. That's going to you're going to start
Yeah.
to discover that there are going to be solutions that you either implement or that companies are going to provide to your practices. And I encourage all of us, be brave and go out there and learn more about what's happening and how AI is going to be a change maker in our profession.
And there'll be information on how to follow me. I am all in, so follow me, because
Yes.
I do also see another concern as you're like, okay, Laura, okay, Carrie, like, let's go. There's gonna be where there's 50 companies right now talking about AI in our industry. By the time this comes out, there's probably going to be 500, and then there's going to be, so there's a lot of people who are coming into our industry with an AI solution, but there's also a balance between AI and dental wisdom. And we need to make sure that we're vetting these companies that we're working with to make sure that they know dental, and not just do they have the insurance code in their system, but do they actually know dental? Because we know dental is its own animal. And so I'm working on programs to like learn how to vet the companies, learn how to make sure that you're working with a reputable company, because my concern is if you decide to jump in and say, okay, great, I'm going to work with this company, AI, great, and they don't do well, you're going to say, see, AI doesn't work.
Yes.
And it's not AI that doesn't work. If they don't do well, it's probably because they don't understand dental. And there's the companies right now in our industry who I say, how long have you been here? 3, 4, 6 months. I mean, this stuff is going fast. What do you know about dental? Well, my cousin was a dentist or is a dentist, and that's the kind of concern I have of, there's an opportunity here, and I don't want our offices and our dentists to be sent down the wrong path.
Yes.
So stay connected to advisors and KOLs and groups and me and whoever you trust to lead you the right way. Don't just pick the next guy that shows up.
How can they find you?
Laura Nelson, find me everywhere, but I'm super.
You can Google it.
You can Google it. I'm very connected still with Front Office Rocks. I'm very connected with ADOM. You're going to see, probably you already know, Laura Nelson AI somewhere in 2025. So there'll be information down below. But I am actually working on cloning myself with an avatar. So one day this will be
avatar.
Yeah, it's not there yet. It's a little creepy. I actually have the video. It's a little creepy. But one day we'll be able to film videos for our website. And you don't even have to have the employees show up. You don't need cameras. You don't need lights. It'll be amazing. So it's coming.
Yeah.
It's not there yet.
One day
but
I will be a hermit.
Yes, one day
won't know it.
we'll be on the beach and our avatars will be having this discussion.
Wait. Well, no, thank you so much for being with me. And thanks to all of you for being here for another episode of the Jameson Files. Be well, and we'll see you next time.